Guys, it's me, Toffee Dog, and this video is going to be very slightly different. In fact, it's going to be not emotional, but something that I've been thinking about doing, but I never really felt was something I had to do, or was something that you guys were not that interested in. Oh, please excuse me. As you know, I've been doing this channel for 2 years now. I've got my 3-year anniversary coming up this October/August, because technically. But I've been doing it for a while, and recently I've gotten like a lot more subscribers, and like it's gone up. But I'm still a relatively small channel. But anyway, I wanted to sort of update you with my health issues, because as you know, I am not a regular poster, or I haven't always been, but that's mainly been because of my workload and also because of my sickness. So let's start off with some good news though, is that when I was in year 11, so this is in England, if you're from America you might not understand necessarily, but when I was in year 11 I got this really unique allergy, which was cinnamon. I've talked about it before. I said this is a really weird, but it's actually quite a fun quirk to tell people. I could not eat things with cinnamon without either being sick or basically needing the toilet constantly. I'm trying to keep this not so much TMI, I'm trying to keep this slightly down, and it didn't help because it was a weird thing to say to people, and a lot of people didn't believe me because it's the most common spice allergy, but it's definitely down there with the very lesser known. So that was when I first realised I had any sort of health problems. When I was in year 11, I finished high school, I went into college, which I'm still at now, but technically I'm at university now, so college was a lot better for me. But when it got to year 1, I started twitching. So we were in a supermarket called Asda, we were pulling the trolley, and I just started twitching, sort of like this. I'm not twitching anymore, but that was just a demonstration. I thought it might be my reaction from going from like the cold supermarket to the warm outside, because it was quite warm outside and they had loads of like cold heating in there, and then it kept on happening, and I'm glad I didn't get taken to the hospital, because basically I got sent to my doctor's. He did some tests. I think I had a blood test. This is a little while ago, even though it's only like 2-3 years ago. Actually no, yeah, 2 years ago, just about as I was starting up my channel. I had a blood test that came back clear. He sent me to the neurologist, which is when I discovered it was stress. And this was coming up to my sort of end of year 1 exams, and I was feeling stressed a lot about art, because I had hardly any confidence in myself when it came to art, or when it came to passing it, because our teacher was very much, she didn't encourage us maybe as much as she should have done. She was good as a teacher to tell you what you've done wrong, but she wasn't that good at telling you what you've done right. So a lot of the time, me and my close friend, felt like we were doing absolutely rubbish, and that we were restricted to what we could do. I couldn't do my graphic design like I wanted to. I couldn't go on the computer and just draw really realistically and do what I love. So she said it was stress, and then I went back to the doctor's, and I think he actually got me to fill in this questionnaire. And it's really weird, because a lot of these stories are kind of mixed up in my head. So he asked me what I do feel about counselling. I was like, counselling? I've never been. I don't know if I want to. And so he set me up with something, but unfortunately it was a group therapy, but it wasn't we're all going to be in a circle together. It was literally a ginormous hall. There was a presentation board at the front, and every single person there was at least in their 30s. I was the only young one there, and technically I was 17, so I wasn't allowed until I was 18, but because my birthday was only in a few months and he saw I needed help, he said, okay, you can go. So I went, and the first class was okay, but the stress of going there and walking back, because I get stressed when strangers are near me. If I am in a whole group of strangers, I'll be the shyest person you'll know, and I'll start getting worried. And even though this helped me understand a lot of people go through it, I knew that already. I knew other people went through it. I knew I wasn't the only one. But that fact never really helped me. I kind of just went, yeah, I know other people are going through it, but my struggles are quite bad, and I don't think this will help. So I didn't go to the last 2 weeks. I think the week before I made up some lame excuse to my mum because I would go there myself. This was all self-motivated, so I don't know why I made up such a bad excuse. And then the second week was I was actually going camping, so I had to pack and I had to use that day to get myself ready, which was really good because apparently when I came back from camping I wasn't twitching at all throughout the whole weekend. So it was an amazing weekend. I loved it so much. I felt at ease. I played football. I hung out with my friends like in the fields because we went out in the country into this big like manor house with the local youth church. And it was going to be one of my last times doing a youth activity like that. So it was really so much fun. The house is beautiful. But unfortunately, the moment I came back home, twitching started. And then I think I went through twitching. So they got me to use a computer for my film study. But I still got a good mark. I think I got a B on my coursework and a C on my exam. So I actually did come out with a D, but it must have been high D. I passed R, I got a D, which was predicted. But unfortunately, I failed drama, which was really devastating to me because drama out of all those subjects was the one I was determined I wanted to do most of all, and was something that I had the most confidence in. I didn't feel like any of my stresses or fears came out then. And I had a word with the teacher. I had an E grade. I was like, look, I really want to continue on. So the choice was either to take it with the year 1 group the following September, or starting at a certain month the next year is basically do all the coursework bit to just get up to D. But I knew that it would cause me so much stress, unnecessary stress. And at the time, I was actually part of an amateur group production of what was called Relative Values. I was playing a part and I was happy, and I was like, actually, I'm not going to do this course anymore because yeah, it might help me in the future, but I wasn't happy. I think I felt very much like I wanted to just get out there and get my foot in the door rather than do any more drama education, unless it's stage school and unless it's drama school. Maybe still do that after my university. And so I went into year 2 of A-levels and I took this thing called level 3 subsidiary, which is basically an A-level, but you do it for 1 year, and it was either ICT, business or science. I decided to go with ICT because I enjoyed it when I was at GCSE and actually got a high enough grade to do it at A-levels, but just didn't choose to because I didn't feel, 1, I was smart enough, or 2, I didn't really have that much of an interest in IT to want to do 2 whole years of it and have a qualification. I did that, and then one day I'm not sure if I told my teacher about the twitching because I'm not sure why, but anyway, I got this pain in my chest and I knew I wasn't stressed because that class was a very relaxing class. It was, to me, the actual course itself was easy apart from one bit, but that will be in another story. And I basically had this chest pain sort of about here, and I then started twitching because of this chest pain. Now I was already like hunched over the desk anyway because of the pain, and also I started twitching, which meant I just couldn't move, and I started crying because I was like, I don't want this happening. I tried to calm myself down, and then I think it must have been 10 minutes later someone finally noticed Sarah's Toppy Dog is not good. She's face planted the desk, or has been for 10 minutes, but roughly. And they tried to get me to respond, but I was twitching so much. And I was also having a panic attack, so I was twitching, I couldn't breathe, or I I could breathe, but because I was having a panic attack, I couldn't breathe. And basically, they called the sort of, I think there's a teacher on each floor who has to be medically qualified so they called them, and they set me back up. But apparently I started falling out the chair, and it didn't help. It was a wheelie chair, like this one, but one of the really, like, you could easily fall off it. So they got me on the ground, and I started crying again, because I was like, oh gosh, I don't want to go into A&E. I don't want to go back to anything like that again. And I was also doing a job alongside this, as well as volunteer work, so I had a very, very busy schedule, which now I look back and go, why did I put so much on my plate when I knew I couldn't handle that much? And I went to A&E in the wheelchair, because even though I was fine, I wasn't comfortable with walking, because my legs were like jelly, and I still had the pain, and I rated it at like a 7 out of 10. And I have quite a high pain threshold, or I'd like to think I do, so to me, that's probably the worst pain I experienced. So they checked me over, they took me to hospital, and I thought I was going to be waiting in A&E, as in, well, where people, but they took me straight through to where the beds were, and I started crying again. I hate crying, but it was just so emotional that, oh my gosh, they've taken me all the way through to this part. This must be somewhat serious. They did all sorts of tests, and my mum came, and I sort of calmed down a bit, and they came back and said, oh, it's nothing serious. We don't know what's causing this chest pain, but it's nothing to do with your heart, or it's nothing bad to do with your lungs. You know, we're not going to take this further. So they took me home. I woke up the next day, and actually halfway through they went back to my IT class, because I had to finish some coursework, because our teacher basically abandoned us. But again, that's another story. We'll talk about all those level 3 IT stories in another video. And I actually passed with an A in IT, and I finished that day, actually the day after I went into hospital. I went in, finished. I had to persuade my dad quite a bit to let me go, but I was like, I feel fine, I just want to get this done and out the way. I got what did I get? I got a C grade for film. Apparently I got an A grade in my exam paper, but a B grade in my, oh gosh, coursework. So brought it down, should have been bound to C. I got a D in art, but then again, I didn't really give two fudges about that, because at that point I was fed up with A-level art. I was not enjoying it. In fact, I would dread going to A-level classes, but I kept going because I wanted that qualification. And so, yeah. But the best part of the story is yet to come. We're already 30 minutes into the video. So about a month ago, well, back in October, I started a carer's job. And I basically go around to people's houses and help them with personal care, which is what my mum does. And after I got dismissed from my last job, but apparently they did that to everyone after 6 months, which is, it's not good for your self-esteem, especially after you don't really have that much of it anyway. So anyway, I was doing a carer's job. I started technically January because I had to go through the training, and then I had to do something called shadowing, where you follow another carer around, you just watch what they do, and also for doubles, because I was going to get some double work. And I don't remember much of it, but all I can remember is I was sitting in a chair in like this hallway. It was like an office hallway, but I had no idea where I was, and I don't remember knowing how I even got there. And apparently my partner came through, must have been the lift dogs or dog. She came out of the wall, side wall, so, well, she's not a ghost, so, and I didn't recognise her. My brain felt like I should know who she is, but I don't. And I started crying, and it's so embarrassing, because you probably think I'm such a crybaby, but I'm not. I try not to be. And I said, I don't know where I am. I'm really sorry. I don't know where to go from home. And initially she thought I was joking, I think, because she just laughed and said, oh, come on, Sarah, and became even more frightened. So I was like, how do you even know my name? Like, I'm in this strange place with a stranger talking to me who knows my name and knows what I'm doing. And I remember just wearing black trousers and wearing an outfit, but I didn't think about it that much. I thought this outfit's strange. So she took me home. It took me a while to figure out which house was mine. I think what gave the clue away was I had 2 keys in my pocket, and my house has 2 doors to get in. So my brain went, oh, look, you got 2 keys. There's 2 doors here. This must be your house. So I got in, and I'd pretty much forgotten everything about myself, about what had happened. And I remember my parents were at a relative's, but I think it was quite nearby. So they were there. Just check on the battery life. No, we can't. Anyway, they were there. And my mum came back. And what was it? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, so they brushed it off. And then I totally forgot. Anyway, before that, I had the flu for 2 weeks. I was off for the weekend. So when I came back with my partner for that weekend, when I had my memory lost, it was the first weekend back from being unwell with the flu quite badly. With 2 weeks, I don't get sick that easily. So that was like my yearly sickness for the year at the very start. And I went off work. Just off temporarily, and then my mum, so funny, oh gosh, my mum the following day, apparently I had a moment again, and I didn't know who anyone was apart from her, which I find funny because I apparently only remembered her during the whole time, and I felt guilty because I forgot about my boyfriend and other people I love so much. And she took me to, I think it was the doctors or some different area of the hospital, because I know I didn't go into the A&E bits. By now I know what A&E is like. I've been there a few times the past few years. And we went there, and then he took me to the A&E waiting room. But then I remember just being myself. Mum had said to me that I went back to normal about half an hour before we went to see the second doctor, because you have to see the first one, just make sure you're there for a good reason, or they can just send you home. And I went for the second one, and when she heard that I was fine, she basically sent me home. She was like, well, you're fine now, and we won't do anything because you're not in any serious danger. And then I went to the doctors. I had blood tests done again, but I had like three blood samples taken rather than just the one. And I've apparently been having memory loss sessions. I've had a couple of days of college, I think, because there have been days where I've been sitting there knowing I should be somewhere. Apparently I didn't know how to get there, so I missed a few days of college because of my memory loss, which is really distressing. It's really a bummer, basically. And we're coming up to the mark where next week we're going back to the doctors to find out. Oh, hold on, I forgot to tell you. That tummy chest turned out to be acid reflux disease. So basically I had to take 2 types of medication. I had to take antidepressants because I got diagnosed with that after he was discussing counselling. And then I was diagnosed with acid reflux disease after my trip to the hospital, the one where I was at college. And this one, he said, keep an eye on her for a month. He said it might be stress. And that killed me, because I was like, I'm not stressing at the moment. Like, I haven't got a job to stress about. The only thing I'm doing with my life is doing my level 4 course, and I love it to pieces. I love it so much more than A levels. I can't be stressed out. I don't do my work and think, oh, I'm really stressed out. And it worries me because I don't want to be so stressed out it's going to cause another health issue. I've already got 2 health issues to do with stress, depression, anxiety, acid reflux, and I've got memory loss. I don't want any more, but I thought I'd keep you guys updated, and also because I've got some like college videos up at the moment and I haven't done a normal one in a little bit. I didn't want you guys to just think this channel's all for level 4 work now, level 4 vlogs. No, it's not. It's still Toffee Dog. And I am doing well, and I honestly am feeling really happy with myself and content. I just hope that this memory loss is a temporary thing, and that twitching never comes back. My acid reflux never gets so bad I had to be sent to hospital. So I thought I'd keep you guys updated, because this is a nice, easy listening story. No, I want to do more story times, because I was inspired to do this by Jessi V. She was pretty open about her problems, and I thought I need to be more open too. I need to keep you guys updated, because we've been through a long journey together. 2 years, nearly 3 years, some of you have been subscribed to this channel. So you've stuck by me, despite you being like a teensy wincy channel that's like this small. I honestly do want to thank you, and hopefully when I'm at university, this channel will go up and up, and I'll be able to do a lot more with it than I currently am. So I'm going to say bye bye guys, and I'll see you in the next video.